In the Heat of the Night once portrayed the struggle between justice and prejudice in the small town of Sparta. But when the cameras stopped rolling, the actors' real lives turned into true tragedies. Carroll O'Connor, the respected police chief, fell into despair after the death of his son, while Carl Weathers, the symbol of action and strength, passed away suddenly. And they were not the only ones who paid the price. Today, let us look back at the cast of In the Heat of the Night and honor the legacies they left behind. Howard E. Rollins Jr. as Chief of Detectives, Virgil Tibbs. Howard E. Rollins Jr. joined In the Heat of the Night in 1988 when he was 38 years old and played Chief of Detectives Virgil Tibbs, an intelligent, principled, and composed officer, the perfect counterpart to Chief Gillespie's toughness. His character not only represented justice, but also reflected the struggle of African Americans in contemporary American society. However, after 7 seasons, in 1993, he was fired, marking the beginning of a tragic downfall that shocked Hollywood. Born on October 17, 1950, in Baltimore, Maryland, Howard was the youngest child in a working-class family and showed a talent for theater early on while studying at Towson University. After leaving the series, he fell into alcoholism and cocaine addiction, was arrested several times for drunk driving, and clashed with producers. Having lost major opportunities, he appeared only in a few minor roles such as Drunks, 1995, and Harambe, 1996. Though once Oscar-nominated for Ragtime, 1981, he could not save his sinking career amid addiction and loneliness. His downfall also left scars on his personal life. Howard had been married, but his relationships collapsed due to violence and substance abuse. The more he tried to overcome addiction, the deeper he sank into despair. In 1996, he was diagnosed with HY5 and lymphoma, a cancer linked to AIDS complications. The illness quickly drained his strength, leaving his health deteriorating within weeks. On December 8, 1996, Howard E. Rollins Jr. died at St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital in New York City at the age of 46. His funeral was held in his hometown of Baltimore, and his likeness was later immortalized in the Great Blacks in Wax Museum. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at around $500,000. Alan Autry as Captain Bubba Skinner. At 36 years old, Alan Autry played Captain Bubba Skinner, the loyal, strong, yet deeply compassionate officer in the Heat of the Night in 1988. For 7 years, he was the right-hand man of Chief Gillespie and the youthful spirit of the show. His character brought balance between discipline and empathy, leaving a lasting impression on audiences. Born on July 31, 1952 in Shreveport, Louisiana, Alan was a professional football player before turning to Hollywood. After the series ended in 1995, he faced a period of intense pressure when he decided to shift to politics. With his conservative views and strong religious beliefs, he was often ostracized by Hollywood circles. Nevertheless, he remained steadfast, serving as the mayor of Fresno, California, from 2001 to 2009, even while facing criticism for his firm decisions. Those pressures also affected his personal life. After his first marriage ended in 1986, he married Kimberly Autry in 1994. The couple lived happily but could not avoid strains caused by politics and work. Still, his faith in God helped him weather many storms. Once again, Alan made his mark with The Legend of Jake Kincaid, 2002, a film he wrote and directed himself. In 2025, at 73 years old, Alan Autry continues to live in California, hosting a radio show and engaging in community work. He has chosen a peaceful life away from fame, reflecting on his journey from athlete to actor to politician. His net worth is currently estimated at around $3 million. Carroll O'Connor as Chief William O. Bill Gillespie. At 64 years old, Carroll O'Connor played Police Chief William O. Bill Gillespie, the stern, principled, yet deeply humane head of the Sparta Police Department, in the Heat of the Night in 1988. Over 7 years until 1995, he became the very soul of the series, transforming what could have been a dry police role into a symbol of humanity amid a prejudiced America. Born on August 2nd, 1924, in Manhattan, New York, Carroll grew up in an intellectual but strict family. After World War II, he studied at the University of Dublin, where his love for the arts took root. When the show ended, O'Connor sank into depression and alcoholism. Despite trying to return with minor roles such as A Matter of Justice, 1994, he could never escape the haunting pain of losing his son and the overwhelming loneliness that followed. The tragedy of Hugh remained a wound that never healed in Carroll O'Connor's heart. His beloved son, who had acted alongside him in the Heat of the Night, took his own life at 32, after years of struggling with addiction. Police found Hugh dead in his apartment with a gun in his hand, leaving Carroll completely shattered. He vowed to track down and sue the drug dealer who had supplied his son, calling him a partner in crime. From then on, he dedicated the rest of his life to anti-drug advocacy, living in constant, unrelenting sorrow. On June 21, 2001, Carroll O'Connor died in Culver City, California, at the age of 76 from a heart attack. He was laid to rest at Westwood Village Memorial Park, beside the memorial of his son Hugh. His net worth at the time of death was estimated at about $25 million. Hugh O'Connor as Lieutenant Lonnie Jameson. At 26 years old, Hugh O'Connor played Lieutenant Lonnie Jameson, a young, dedicated, and good-hearted police officer in the Heat of the Night, 1988. On screen, he was the loyal right hand of Chief Gillespie. Off-screen, Hugh was the real-life son of Carroll O'Connor. Yet behind the bright image of a loving father and son, his real life was overshadowed by illness and addiction. Born on April 7, 1962, in Rome, Italy, Hugh was adopted by Carroll and Nancy O'Connor when he was just 6 days old. At 16, he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and endured chemotherapy along with 2 major surgeries. The prolonged pain made him dependent on painkillers, which eventually led to drug and alcohol addiction. During the height of the show's success, Hugh became unstable, frequently absent, clashing with colleagues and under police watch. Although he had appeared in Brass, 1985, his growing addiction destroyed his career opportunities and his ability to control his life. In 1992, Hugh married Angela Clayton, a costume designer from the production crew. They had 1 son, Sean, but their marriage soon fell apart as his addiction repeatedly resurfaced. On March 28, 1995, exactly 3 years after their wedding, Hugh called his father, telling him he couldn't live with drugs anymore. When police arrived, he had already taken his own life. Cocaine was found in his system. His death devastated Carroll O'Connor, who spent the rest of his life fighting against drugs and helped establish the Drug Dealer Liability Act. Hugh O'Connor died at his home in Pacific Palisades, California, at the age of 32. His body was cremated and later buried in Rome, Italy, with his ashes interred at Campo Verano Cemetery. His net worth at the time of death was estimated at around $1.2 million. David Hart as Officer Parker Williams. David Hart joined in the Heat of the Night. In 1988, when he was 34 years old and portrayed Officer Parker Williams, a kind, honest, and warm-hearted patrolman. His character brought balance and compassion to a show filled with tension and prejudice. He remained with the role for 7 years, until the series ended in 1995. Born on February 6, 1954, in Florida, David grew up in a working-class family where his parents encouraged him to pursue the arts from an early age. After leaving the show, he struggled with a stagnating career. Being typecast as Parker made it difficult for him to find new roles, leading to years of financial stress and professional isolation. He performed mostly in local theaters and took part in smaller projects such as Forgiven, 2011, but none brought him significant recognition or awards. Despite this, David Hart maintained peace in his personal life. After his first marriage ended, he married television producer Ann Tabor in 1998. The couple had a daughter, Mary Hart, who followed in her father's artistic footsteps. However, raising a child within the demanding entertainment industry brought family tensions, eventually contributing to health issues such as stress and weight gain. In 2025, at 71 years old, David Hart continues to live in Florida, frequently performing in stage plays and singing at local events. He leads a modest life away from Hollywood's spotlight, but remains devoted to his passion for the arts. His current net worth is estimated at around $500,000. Anne Marie Johnson as Althea Tibbs. Anne Marie Johnson joined In the Heat of the Night in 1988 at age 28, playing Althea Tibbs, the intelligent, kind-hearted, and courageous wife of Virgil Tibbs. Her portrayal made her one of the most beloved female faces on American television in the late 1980s. But when the show ended, that spotlight slowly dimmed, giving way to the harsh trials of real life. Born on July 18, 1960, in Los Angeles, California, Anne Marie graduated from UCLA with a degree in theater. After the series, she faced professional typecasting, being confined to the image of Althea. Moreover, her outspoken advocacy for equality often put her at odds with producers, costing her several career opportunities. Though she later appeared in projects such as JAG, 1995 to 2005, and The Addiction of Hope, 2025, her career never regained its earlier momentum. At one point, she even faced financial hardship while independently producing her own films. Despite the ups and downs of her career, Anne Marie found peace in her personal life. In 1996, she married Martin Gray, the man who stood by her through her most difficult years. They never had children, but their marriage has remained strong for over 3 decades. In 2025, at 65 years old, Anne Marie Johnson continues to live in Los Angeles. She remains active in television production, social advocacy, and mentoring young actors. Her life stands as a testament to perseverance, a journey of talent, courage, and resilience. Her current net worth is estimated at around $4 million. Carl Weathers as Chief Hampton Forbes. Carl Weathers was 45 years old when he portrayed Chief Hampton Forbes, the successor to Bill Gillespie, who brought a fresh energy to the series in its later seasons. With his strong, composed, and disciplined demeanor, he quickly became a fan favorite, despite appearing for only 2 short seasons. Yet behind the fame, Carl Weathers faced years of turbulence in both his career and personal life. Born on January 14, 1948 in New Orleans, Louisiana, Carl was a football player before stepping into Hollywood. After leaving In the Heat of the Night, he struggled with perfectionism, which often caused tension and conflicts with colleagues. However, he reclaimed his spotlight decades later with the role of Greef Karga in The Mandalorian, 2019 to 2023, which earned him an Emmy nomination and reaffirmed his enduring power as a Hollywood icon. 3 failed marriages left emotional scars that never faded. Carl openly admitted to being a difficult man, someone who needed control over everything, making relationships suffocating. Though he had 2 sons, he rarely spoke publicly about them, choosing a quiet, work-focused life instead. In the months before his death, he battled serious heart disease caused by years of stress and an intense lifestyle. On February 1, 2024, Carl Weathers passed away at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 76. The cause of death was reported as atherosclerosis. His body was cremated, and months later, Hollywood honored him with a posthumous star on the Walk of Fame, a lasting tribute to a true screen hero. His net worth at the time of death was estimated at around $8 million. Lois Nettleton as Joanne St. John. At 61 years old, Lois Nettleton portrayed Joanne St. John, an intelligent, sensitive woman who became the emotional anchor for Chief Gillespie in the Heat of the Night, 1988. With her heartfelt and nuanced performance, she brought warmth and compassion to a show often overshadowed by crime and prejudice. Yet behind the bright studio lights, Lois's own life became a long chapter of being quietly forgotten. Born on August 16, 1927 in Oak Park, Illinois, Lois was crowned Miss Chicago in 1948 before studying acting at the Goodman School of Drama. After the series, she faced major challenges, often typecast as gentle, middle-aged women. In an industry that left little room for actresses over 60, Lois struggled with a deep sense of being sidelined. Still, she persevered, later appearing in Crossing Jordan, 2001 to 2006, and earning 3 Emmy nominations, winning 2, proving her rare endurance and undeniable talent. In her personal life, Lois was once married to writer and radio personality Jean Shepherd, but their marriage ended bitterly in 1967. Afterward, she lived alone in a small California home, dedicating herself entirely to her craft. In her final years, she battled lung cancer, but remained strong-spirited, even making one last appearance at a Twilight Zone convention in 2007 to meet her fans. On January 18, 2008, Lois Nettleton passed away in Woodland Hills, California, at the age of 80. Her net worth at the time of her death was estimated at around $3 million. Denise Nicholas as Harriet DeLong. At 45 years old, Denise Nicholas played councilwoman Harriet DeLong, a wise, resilient, and compassionate woman, in the Heat of the Night in 1989. Her character became a symbol of strong African-American women navigating the conservative political landscape of the American South. Yet beneath her calm presence, Denise carried deep emotional scars from her real life. Born on July 12, 1944 in Detroit, Michigan, Denise came of age during the tumultuous civil rights era. After the show ended, she transitioned into writing. The 1980 murder of her younger sister, Michelle, plunged her into depression and years of trauma. However, she eventually rediscovered purpose through literature, publishing the novel Freshwater Road, 2005, which won the Hurston Wright Legacy Award and established her as a serious author. Her personal life was equally stormy. Denise went through 3 marriages, including a violent relationship with singer Bill Withers, who had physically assaulted her before their divorce. Those painful experiences led her to step away from the spotlight, focusing instead on writing and meditation. In 2025, at 81 years old, Denise Nicholas continues to live in California, preparing to release her memoir recounting her journey from television actress to writer and survivor. Her life stands as a testament to resilience and forgiveness after deep loss. Her current net worth is estimated at around $3 million. Geoffrey Thorne as Sergeant Wilson Sweet. At just 18 years old, Geoffrey Thorne played Sergeant Wilson Sweet, a young, idealistic officer who dared to challenge prejudice and stand up against injustice in the Heat of the Night, 1988. His role made him one of the few young black actors to gain recognition on American television at the time. But when the series ended, Geoffrey's acting career slowly faded from the spotlight. Born in the United States in 1970, Geoffrey began acting at a young age, noted for his serious and intelligent demeanor. However, after leaving In the Heat of the Night, he was soon forgotten amid the wave of new faces in Hollywood. Feeling abandoned by the industry, he decided to pivot toward screenwriting. He eventually became a writer for Leverage, 2008 to 2012, and Star Trek Enterprise, earning respect for his creative insight and strong character development. Geoffrey's personal life has always been private. He once endured a failed relationship during his early, unstable career, but later found happiness in a quiet, enduring marriage. Steering clear of scandals, he lives simply, devoting much of his time to writing and mentoring young screenwriters. In 2025, at 55 years old, Geoffrey Thorne continues to reside in California, writing and producing content for science fiction television projects. His life stands as proof that true talent is not only shown through acting, but also through constant creative evolution. His current net worth is estimated at around $2 million. Tonea Stewart as Aunt Etta Kibbe. At 41 years old, Tonea Stewart portrayed Aunt Etta Kibbe, a wise, gentle woman who brought warmth and compassion to the town of Sparta in the Heat of the Night. Though her role was supporting, her soft voice and expressive eyes made her unforgettable to audiences. Born on February 3, 1947, in Greenwood, Mississippi, Tonea initially studied medicine before changing course to pursue theater. After the show, she faced the dual pressures of maintaining her acting career while also serving as a university professor. The overlapping responsibilities often left her exhausted, yet her passion for the arts never faded. She went on to appear in A Time to Kill, 1996, and Mississippi Damned, 2009, earning an NAACP Image Award nomination and solidifying her reputation as a gifted, respected actress. Tonea's personal life has been one of stability and purpose. She has been married for decades to Dr. Alan Stewart and is the proud mother of 3 children and several grandchildren. Beyond acting, she is also an educator, mentor, and an inspirational figure to generations of young Black theater students. In 2025, at 78 years old, Tonea Stewart resides in Montgomery, Alabama, where she continues teaching, giving motivational lectures, and supporting community art programs. Her current net worth is estimated at around $1 million. Crystal R. Fox as Officer Luann Corbin. At 25 years old, Crystal R. Fox played Officer Luann Corbin, a young, fearless woman representing a new generation of female police officers in the American South, in the Heat of the Night. With her powerful voice and determined gaze, she embodied a balance of toughness and compassion, adding emotional depth and humanity to the series. Yet when the lights went out, Crystal's own journey proved far from easy. Born on January 1st, 1964, in Tryon, North Carolina, Crystal is the niece of legendary musician Nina Simone. She moved to Atlanta in 1979 and soon immersed herself in theater. After leaving In the Heat of the Night, she struggled with perfectionism. Her own high standards often led to conflicts with colleagues and caused her to miss major opportunities. Still, she persisted, appearing in dozens of stage productions and later gaining recognition for her role in Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace, 2020. In 2025, at 61 years old, Crystal R. Fox continues to live in Atlanta, Georgia, remaining active in the theater scene and participating in independent television projects. She is seen as a symbol of perseverance and unwavering dedication to her craft in American show business. Her current net worth is estimated at around $5 million. Wilbur Fitzgerald as District Attorney Gerard Darnell. At 41 years old, Wilbur Fitzgerald appeared in the Heat of the Night, 1989, as District Attorney Gerard Darnell, a man who embodied cold, rational justice in the town of Sparta. With his calm demeanor and firm, resonant voice, he showed that real power doesn't come from strength, but from intellect and professional integrity. Born on September 15, 1948, in the United States, Wilbur is not only an actor, but also a licensed attorney, having been admitted to the bar in 1973. After the series, he struggled to balance 2 demanding worlds, the courtroom and the film set. The relentless schedule, heavy workload, and dual responsibilities often left him exhausted. Yet his determination allowed him to sustain both careers simultaneously, a rare feat in Hollywood. Over the years, he appeared in numerous acclaimed productions, including The Walking Dead, 2010 to 2022, Prison Break, Drop Dead Diva, and The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, 2013. His personal life was no less turbulent. Wilbur endured a complicated marriage that ended painfully in divorce, leading him to withdraw and focus solely on his work. Whether in a courtroom or on camera, he maintained the calm intelligence and authority that defined his reputation. By 2025, at 77 years old, Wilbur Fitzgerald continues to live in Georgia, occasionally taking guest roles while remaining active in the legal field. His current net worth is estimated at around $2 million. Karen Carlson as Sarah Hallisey. At 45 years old, Karen Carlson played Sarah Hallisey, a smart, strong woman burdened by loneliness amid the prejudice-filled town of Sparta, in the Heat of the Night, 1990. With her graceful beauty and natural acting, she gave the character emotional depth that captivated viewers. Born on January 15, 1945 in Shreveport, Louisiana, Karen was the first runner-up in the 1965 Miss America pageant before pursuing a career in acting. She gained fame through films like The Candidate, 1972, alongside Robert Redford, and The Octagon, 1980, with Chuck Norris. After her appearance in the Heat of the Night, she faced Hollywood's harsh treatment of older women. Roles became scarce, and personal tragedy followed as both of her marriages, to actor David Soul and musician Devon Payne, ended in bitter divorces and public disputes. During that period, Karen suffered from emotional turmoil but never lost faith in her art. She turned to directing and screenwriting, appearing in smaller projects such as In a Quiet Room, 2024, proving that her creative spirit remained unbroken. In 2025, at 80 years old, Karen Carlson lives peacefully in California, spending her days writing, painting, and meeting longtime fans. Though no longer at the peak of fame, she remains admired as a symbol of beauty, resilience, and dignity for women of Hollywood's 1970s to 1990s era. Her current net worth is estimated at around $5 million. Thom Gossom Jr. as Ted Marcus. At 36 years old, Thom Gossom Jr. played Councilman Ted Marcus, an intelligent, composed black politician torn between idealism and reality in the town of Sparta. His character represented the voice of justice in a society still burdened by prejudice, and it was this performance that earned Thom recognition as one of the most respected television faces of the late 1980s. Born on May 2, 1952, in Birmingham, Alabama, Thom was the first black athlete from Auburn University to break the racial barriers in the southeastern United States. After leaving in the heat of the night, he often felt exhausted and disheartened by repeated casting rejections due to his skin color. Yet Thom never gave up. He turned to writing and producing, leaving his mark with the memoir Walk On, 2008, which chronicled his journey through racial adversity and his rise as a symbol of perseverance. Thom's marriage to Dr. Joyce Gilly Gossom in 1997 brought him a rare sense of balance in an unpredictable world. They have one son, and together founded the media company Best Girl Inc., where Thom serves as CEO. Despite his busy schedule balancing acting, writing, and teaching, he maintains a humble lifestyle, viewing art as a tool for healing and inspiration. By 2025, at 73 years old, Thom Gossom Jr. continues to live in Alabama, occasionally giving university lectures and participating in independent television projects. His life stands as proof that true strength lies not in fame, but in the courage to stand tall against prejudice. His current net worth is estimated at around $1 million. Those tragedies remind us that behind the bright lights of Hollywood lie unseen sorrows and silent battles. Did you ever imagine their fates could be this heartbreaking? Share your thoughts below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to discover more untold stories behind the screen.